In the beginning, before humans had a name for it, green was simply the color of survival. It was the background noise of the world, the signal that water was near, that life was blooming, and that food was available. Here is the story of how green traveled from the forest floor to the laboratory, and eventually into the deep recesses of our minds. The origin, nature. Solar panel. The story of green begins roughly 2.5 billion years ago with a biological revolution. Early life on Earth actually favored purple, using retinal to absorb light. However, a newcomer called chlorophyll proved more efficient at harvesting energy from the sun. Chlorophyll absorbs blue and red light but reflects the middle of the spectrum. This discarded light is what we perceive as green. Because chlorophyll won the evolutionary race, the planet was painted in its leftovers. To the early human eye, green became the literal color of the biosphere, the history, from malachite to murder. While nature found green easy to produce, humanity found it notoriously difficult to capture. Ancient Egypt. They used crushed malachite. It was beautiful but expensive and difficult to apply. They associated green with Wajwer, the god of fertility, and the Great Green Nile. The Renaissance. Painters struggled with fugitive greens, pigments that would turn brown or fade within years. To be green in the Middle Ages was to be unstable. This is why we still associate green with luck, which can change, and gambling. The Victorian poison. In 1775, Carl Wilhelm Scheele invented Scheele's green. It was vibrant and fashionable, but it was made with arsenic. It lined the walls of nurseries and the fabric of ball gowns, literally sickening the society that wore it. Legend suggests Napoleon Bonaparte may have been slowly poisoned by the green wallpaper in his exile home. The psychology. The rest and digest. Color. Because our ancestors spent millions of years scanning green landscapes for predators or prey, the human eye is more sensitive to shades of green than any other color. We can distinguish more variations of green than we can of red or blue. 1. The safety signal. In evolutionary psychology, a lush green environment signaled an oasis. It meant the fight-or-flight system could power down because resources were abundant. Today, this translates to stress reduction. Studies show that forest bathing, or even looking at green office plants, lowers cortisol levels. Creativity. Green is linked to broad thinking. Unlike red, which signals a need for focus and caution, green tells the brain it is safe to explore new ideas. 2. The duality of meaning green occupies a strange space in our modern lexicon. It is the only color that represents both healing, nature, health, vitality, and sickness, nausea, decay, poison. It is the color of envy, the green-eyed monster, but also the color of money and global commerce. The modern era. The Green Movement. Today, green has transcended its status as a color to become an ideology. It represents a return to the origin, an attempt to reconcile our industrial lives with the chlorophyll-driven world that birthed us. When we call a product green, we aren't describing its hue. We are describing its relationship with the planet. Green is the prime color of the world, and that from which its loveliness arises. Pedro Calderón de la Barca.